All right, guys, it's the afternoon. I just want to fill you in what's going on in our life. So our next door neighbor, dear friends of ours, we've really enjoyed since we moved back getting to know them. But Mr. Kenny, the boys call him Mr. Kenny, passed away this week, and so we had his funeral today. And man, what a sweet man, a sweet family, and our boys loved him, loved them. And so again, I mean, it's kind of sad. Two deaths, they're real close to us recently with Emily's granddad and now Mr. Kenny, but had a really good funeral and celebration of life for him. And the gospel was preached that Jesus is the only thing that matters. So I'm glad. I'm so glad to hear that. It's still sad, but what a great life he lived. Battled with cancer for 5 years, and the couple years we got to spend getting to know him was really special. So thankful for that. I'm gonna miss him for sure, but glad we got Debbie, and we'll take care of her next door. All right, well, I'm here at the barn, and we're gonna go over to Dad's house in a second, and we're gonna try to scrape a little bit just around his house. We didn't finish doing the scraping. We got some rain coming this weekend, and then we need to get going on some other stuff. So we're gonna try that today and scrape, and I'll plow behind like we've been doing. If we can't do that, then with the rain coming, we need to get some spraying going. Need those tractors free. Need to get the strip tiller. It's over there hooked up and get it worked on, ready to go. So may have to forego that if we don't have time. Get to it later if we do. So one of the things is we've got a busted. This freshwater fill valve right here was leaking, and we don't use it a ton just to fill up the freshwater tank, but it is leaking, and I've got the new one. So need to replace that. So I'm gonna get that done real quick. I don't think it should take very long. This has got antifreeze in it from winterization. We'll need to get it cleaned out. And then later, all the nozzles were a couple years old. I got some new nozzles. We'll get those, get the booms cleaned out, and then rinse all the strainers, put the new nozzles in, and grease the sprayer and get it hooked back up to the 8130. And so we can spray our fallow ground around, especially around Dad's house. We didn't get sprayed before the freeze. Got some hen bit up that's bought that's pretty thick, and then we need to spray all the wheat as well. So that's the plan. All right, I got it off, taken apart. It's pretty simple design, actually. There's just a little ball that goes inside of there, and the ball rotates, letting the fluid through or not letting the fluid through. And so I got it off. I don't see, I thought I might see a hairline crack or something somewhere in the ball or in this part, but I don't see it. So it clearly was leaking somewhere. I'll just have to keep looking. But old, we'll put the new one on. This handle, actually, we need it on our spray trailer. One of the handles got broke last time. Someone that brought us chemical broke it with the forklift, and so this is the right size we need, and we'll get the raw of this and put that on the spray trailer. Done. Fairly simple. Just had to figure out the right order to get those bolts in. Anyways, got it done. Now I'm going over to Dad's house and see if we can't do some scraping and plowing. All right, got the tractor back hooked up to the plow. We use this tractor to spread fertilizer. So Dad just took off with the scraper. We're gonna see if it's too wet or not. And I'm gonna get started doing some plowing here around the house, and then go catch up to whatever he's doing, and hopefully we can get this done. That'd be good. All right, well, plowing's going pretty good. I raised the plow up because it's wetter, and that last gang of discs there. Sorry, I'm turning here. Let me get situated. But that last gang of discs, if you get into some mud, not as fun. Hold on. So that last gang of discs gets balled up with mud, no good. And so it's plowing a lot easier. I can can tell it's not feathering as good for Dad with the scraper, but it looks like he's getting the job done. So glad to get this going. And there's quite a few washes here at 4 o'clock. I think we should be able to get it done. Here's a little look. Here's a little better look of kind of what we're doing. You can see where I've plowed is where Dad's scraped and where the water runs. It just kind of meanders through the field there. And then behind me, it goes and does all those things. All right, here's a good look at what Dad's doing. There's a little wash right out there, and he's just dragging the dirt. And he'll pick up there and kind of feather it in, and then keep circling back doing the same thing. I'm out here and just killing time, waiting on Dad to get ahead of me a little bit. I guess I can go a little faster than he can, but just out here looking, seeing we got plenty of moisture here. You can't really tell, but it's just good and wet. A little wetter than we'd like, you know. But it's plowing okay. I don't have the plow set very deep, but it could get. Stuff could get stuck in these discs, you know, like not like that, but these scrapers are supposed to will help some of that, but it can get just lodged in here and lock it down, and you gotta try to dig out wet mud. That's no fun. So, but good moisture. I don't know how deep it is. Hopefully, I don't know. I've seen some maps that say our soil moisture level is really good right now, which is surprising. So more rain coming this week, kind of in a wet pattern. Here's some scientific meteorology terms. La Nina is supposed to be diminishing in this INSO neutral. I don't know what that means, but that's more like normal is supposed to be coming, and then they think El Nino is coming later, which is like wet season. So that'd be nice. All right, good morning. Back at it here. We just had a couple, maybe hour, 2 hours of scraping and plowing. Dad's about finished up plowing. I just got the plow in the ground and was heading back to where he's at. And I had a code come on the tractor, blinking light, and then engine system code there. So I looked it up. It's a fuel rail pressure system, and so Dad's going to come down here and we're going to take a look at that. He says it's had that problem before. I look online. Looks like people have that problem fairly regular. So he's going to come down here. We'll get the tractor killed and see if that sensor is dirty, and may need to replace it anyway. So nothing crazy, I don't think. We'll see. All right, that was cool. Got that fixed for now. The code's gone. Dad's going to go take the sprayer. He's going to scrape one more place, and we took the wings off the end of the scraper. Normally he's working on like a box blade, and this time we took them off because he's wanted to feather some dirt at like a kind of a road grader, a little different. So he's going down there. The cylinders are all covered in kind of dirt and mud. He's going to get those cleaned off, and I'm going to keep trying to go. Hopefully that we just unplugged and replugged those sensors. He said that's worked a lot. That little sensor that could be going out, he said last he checked, was like $700 or $800. So probably more like $1,000 now for just a tiny little sensor. It's on the rails, on the rail where the it's a cast iron piece. Dad said it's like 18,000 psi in that fuel line, and then from there it goes into the injectors. So yeah, hopefully that sensor can go a little bit longer, but if we do, $1,000 is better than a other major issue on the tractor. I got the plowing done, and so I wanted to drive around and look at the wheat and check how things are going. Hadn't been out to this is where I fertilized. Let me flip the camera around. Out here to see how it looks, and I would say it looks healthy. It's grown quite a bit even since then. Look right there, there's the tracks where I drove. You can faintly see them. So if you were curious, man, are you gonna ruin some wheat? Well, I don't even know if you can tell. So wheat looks good. Thankful for that. But yeah, it sure has grown a ton since even just what was that, a week and a half ago. Well, we got a little storm blew through last night. there was a slight chance. We knew there was a slight chance, but I was looking last night before dinner, and there was a big cloud up in the Metroplex, not the Metroplex, the Panhandle, and we weren't going to get it. And then we ate dinner, so maybe 30 minutes after, I checked the radar again, and there was this long, it had just developed just to the west of us, and looked like we were going to get a pretty good rain. Problem was, it was moving very fast, like 60 miles an hour. I heard today that somewhere up in the Panhandle they had 117 mile an hour straight line winds, so that probably did some damage. Anyways, it moved so fast, it couldn't dump much amounts on us. So I just checked the place that had planted wheat the cows were on. Got 2 tents there, and I'm actually driving right now on this road that I can never get down when it rains. But when it rains that hard, that fast, it makes a huge difference compared to when it rains slow and settles in. So driving, it's actually kicking up dust already this morning. So anyways, 2 tents is 2 tents. We'll take it. Hopefully a lot of it soaked in, but that'll definitely help the wheat. We're gonna do some spraying. Not today, probably, it's a little windy, but tomorrow maybe. We'll see. So we get the nurse tank, take it over to the barn. I got some stuff. Let's do some spraying, and yeah, I'm gonna try to I got the sprayer hooked up. I gotta get all the hydraulics and things running, and we gotta clean it out of the antifreeze so it doesn't spray antifreeze on the wheat, and yeah, get all the wheat sprayed. And then here around the house, mom and dad's house especially, we got some winter wheat still we need to spray and kill, but time to get to work. Wondering, don't forget to lock the hitch. And don't worry, I'm going to. It takes a little persuasion. Also, hammers come in all different forms. So I grabbed this hammer, and I have to convince this little part to go in. And now we're locked. Okay, now we're good. I just couldn't do that with one hand while I was holding the camera. It's a good hammer. This is our latest planted wheat, and it looks pretty good. It looks better actually than some of the stuff that was planted earlier. Well, this here's in my way. So I'm going to drag it over there and lift it. You'll get to enjoy me struggle through that. Rain a little more. Let's go check the rain gauge though while I'm over here. Oh yeah, just really did it right there. Whopping 1/10. Sure seemed like more. Well, also the wind was blowing, maybe I said this, I'll say it again. The wind was blowing super hard, so if our rain gauge was pointing at an angle, we'd have caught more rain, I think. So I think it's probably more than just a 1/10, but that's all the gauge got. You may say, don't you have a skid steer? That'd be a lot easier way to do that. You're correct. However, I didn't want to get the skid steer. So you got to see me do that. Those are patented moves. So if you do want to try that yourself, just give me some credit, because you probably don't get to see that very often. You may be wondering, why did you put it there? That is a great question. It's out of the way. We don't need this trailer. My brother-in-law may come get those. He has lots of sheep and cows, but mostly lots of sheep, and he's constantly having to figure out water for them. So they're there for him to get whenever he's ready for them. And basically, I just needed it out of the way, and that was a good spot. That's where I put the other one. While I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and put some water, run some water in the tank so we can flush out the boom. But I just want to show you, this is where we normally fill up here in front of Grandma's house. And between us and the mailman, we've just created this little dip here. Need to fill in, but I'll tell you what, a goal of mine would be is to try to get water out to the barn. One, to get this out in front of Grandma's house would be nice, but two, to have it back there with the rest of our stuff would be nice. But that just involves some ditching, and Grandma's got some septic tanks right there. We want to watch out for that plumbing there, and then she's got a sprinkler system for her lawn. And yeah, it'd be nice to get it out of there. Here's my thought. There's the water main that comes into the house right there, and then by the other side of the air conditioner, there's an old water softener that doesn't work anymore, but that should have full flow to there, and then it loops back and goes into the house. My thought is possibly to eliminate the loop and then just use that from there, and I would avoid the septic tanks because they're right here along this concrete edge there, and be able just to run from that box where the softener is just out and over to where I want the water. So that's the idea. We'll see if we get that done, but that would get us out from the front of our house. I forgot, I got the water turned off at the house. I've got to turn it on in here. Always glad to not see anything extra in here. Oh, see, left this going. Also need to replace this valve because this is turned off all the way. Can't you tell? Now it's off. It just leaks by a little bit. We are in business. There's a little valve in here afloat that once the water level reaches to that, it shuts it off. It doesn't allow any more water to pour in. Now it'll still allow, obviously the main is still running in, but it shuts it off so we don't overflow. And so that's something that's nice. Growing up, we just have to sit in the house and watch it, and once it started overflowing, run out here and turn it off. Okay, not everything's perfect out here. I'm not doing everything all the way right. I didn't realize I was just pouring water out the bottom. So yeah, Dad winterized the sprayer without me. I was doing something else, and so clearly he took the part off there that I'm going to need to keep this tank full. Well, like I said, I'm pretty new at this, so I'm bound to mess up at least once along the way. Well, since I can't fill this up, last thing is, this is that old valve I took off of the sprayer, and it's the same handle that is broken off right here. this handle was up here. We flipped it around because it was this thing, totes, that's what those are called. When the tote got loaded, the guy with the forklifts accidentally broke that off. So Dad rotated it, and now we didn't buy a new one because we knew that this one was going to come off. And so now I'm going to switch it. All right, humble brag. I don't really know if you can actually do that, a humble brag, but let's just say I think I'm a little proud of myself because I really didn't know what I was doing. I was doing the skid steer and I was trying to get some of this water that stands in this entrance to go there, and it did. Now we didn't get much rain, but it normally just bogs down and you can't drive in this spot here. That looks okay. It's not perfect. Now I got some dirt to move still there, but hopefully this helps. We need some better material in there, but I am thankful that seemed to help. We'll see what it does on a bigger rain, but yeah.